For today's headlines, PDP Laban ready for Sara. NCR moderate case drop scene. DOH probes contaminated vials, allays public fears. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp hit by outage. Mago retracts calls previous statement on Pharmally pressured response. Stronger peso equals cut in water bill. Decent growth rate for 2021. Philippine spikers fade. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Today is October 5, 2021 and here are the latest news of this Tuesday morning. Taking a cue from President Rodrigo Duterte, PDP Laban officials on Monday expressed willingness to endorse Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio as its standard bearer in the May 2022 elections, even if she is a non-member of the party. Party President Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi and Secretary General Melvin Matibag said in separate interviews that the PDP Laban's doors are open for Duterte Carpio as the group scrambles to look for its presidential bid, who will run alongside vice presidential aspirant Senator Christopher Bongo. In the past, PDP Laban officials were reluctant to say that the president's popular daughter may run for president under the party's banner until Mr. Duterte himself declared a Sara Go tandem on Saturday. Cusi, however, admitted that PDP Laban officials have yet to discuss the matter with the president's eldest daughter 3 days before the deadline for the filing of certificates of candidacy. While PDP Laban members acknowledged the endorsement of Mr. Duterte as party chair to have his daughter run with Go in the 2022 elections, Matibag noted that party officials need to consult the general leadership of the group. Duterte Carpio has consistently topped surveys for presidential aspirants and other possible contenders and earned the support of at least 6 national parties, but she repeatedly rejected the possibility of gunning for the top government post. Public office hopefuls can submit their COC until October 8, but aspirants have until November 15 to substitute those withdrawing from party tickets. The Department of Health on Monday said COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila have shown a slim downward trend as the reported cases decreased by 28% over the past week. In a virtual media briefing, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergire said that over the past week, the average daily reported cases in the National Capital Region dropped from 4,320 to 3,121. In the National Capital Region, the 7-day moving average showed a decrease as cases in the recent 7 days have decreased compared to the previous 7 days by 1,199. Vergire added that the COVID-19 infections in NCR peaked on 5 to 11 of September as the average daily reported cases in the region reached 5,714. The Capital Region's 2-week growth rate also decreased to 33%, while the average daily attack rate remained under high risk at 26.64%. Despite the downward trend, NCR remained under moderate risk classification. The region maintained its moderate risk classification for beds utilization and mechanical ventilators utilization at 59.25% and 55.10% respectively. Vergire said 4 LGU, namely Caloocan, Pasig, Pateros, and Mandaluyong, reported a general decrease in the case trend, including its close contacts. She added that Parañaque City cited a decrease in testing capacity by the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine as a reason for the decrease in their tests reported. Only Pasay reported a decrease in tests reported due to the shift to the use of antigen tests. She noted that the agency is still assessing the reason for the decline in the number of testing output, which is also seen in other regions. The Department of Health is looking into reports that some vaccines may have been improperly handled and placed in non-compliant refrigerated containers. More than 1 million doses of anti-COVID-19 arrived last week, including those purchased by the private sector for the inoculation of company employees. Fears that the vaccine may have been compromised were raised, however, after the DOH received reports that the vials may have been improperly stored. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergire said that although the use of refrigerators as a temporary depository was permitted, the department advised against prolonged storage of the highly valued vaccines. As released by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, every delivered U.S.-made Moderna vaccine should arrive frozen between -50 degrees Celsius and -15 degrees Celsius if placed in refrigerators. Unpunctured vials may be stored between 2 degrees to 8 degrees Celsius for up to 30 days, according to the CDC. Meanwhile, with regard to reports that Japan suspended the use of Moderna vaccines last August over reports of contamination, Vergire said that it is already addressed by the Philippine government. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Magandang araw mga katribo! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelovelo, Comfy Manalo, Atty. Lia Badillo Crisostomo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Jerk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas ng mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Simulan natin ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments ng aming programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magkita-kita po tayo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga at magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. Facebook and its Instagram and WhatsApp platforms were hit by a massive outage Monday, impacting potentially tens of millions of users as the social media giant faces fallout over its effect on teens and misinformation. Tracker Down Detector was showing outages in heavily populated areas like Washington and Paris, with problems being reported from around 15:45 GMT. Facebook spokesman Andy Stone said on Twitter that they are aware that some people are having trouble accessing our apps and products. The outage comes a day after a whistleblower went on U.S. television to reveal her identity after she leaked a trove of documents to authorities alleging the company knew its products were fueling hate and harming children's mental health. The world's largest social media platform has been embroiled in a firestorm brought about by Hogan, with U.S. lawmakers and the Wall Street Journal raising sharp criticism of the network. Senators put the social media giant's Antigone Davis through the ringer last week over damning reports that Facebook's own research warned of potential harm. Davis told lawmakers that a survey of teens on 12 serious issues like anxiety, sadness, and eating disorders showed that Instagram was generally helpful to them. Yet Senator Richard Blumenthal read aloud excerpts from company documents he said were leaked to lawmakers by a Facebook whistleblower that directly contradicted her. The enterprise has been under relentless pressure to guard against being a platform where misinformation, hate, and child-harming content can spread. Legislators have struggled to pass new rules that would update online protections in decades-old laws crafted long before social media even existed. Former Pharmally official Mago on Monday retracted her previous statement that the company swindled the government by tampering with medical-grade face shields, saying it was a pressured response. Mago, who is under the protective custody of the House of Representatives since October 1, physically attended the hearing of the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability's investigation into the alleged anomalous procurement by the government of anti-COVID medical supplies. She noted that another Pharmally executive, Lincoln Ong, is currently detained in the Senate for contempt after declining to testify in an executive session. On September 24, it can be recalled that Mago was asked by the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee if the government fell victim to swindling after Pharmally delivered tampered face shields to the government. Mago clarified, however, that she was supposedly answering the question if Pharmally had already delivered a portion of the face shields to the Department of Health. She pointed out that the government has made any payment yet for the partial delivery of anti-COVID supplies from Pharmally. Mago also revealed that she was COVID-19 positive during the course of the investigation, which resulted in the decline in her physical health and detrimental effect on her mental health, which could have affected her response to the queries during the probe. The House is currently conducting a motu proprio investigation on the Commission on Audit report on the COVID-19 funds transferred by the Department of Health to the Procurement Service of the Department of Budget and Management and the alleged overpricing of the face masks, protective personal equipment, and face shields. Health Undersecretary Francisco Duque III had earlier testified before the House that the face shields were properly distributed to and utilized by health workers and clarified that face shields' shelf life is 36 months or 3 years. In other news, Maynilad Water Services Incorporated customers will enjoy a water bill cut in the last quarter of the year following a petition approval from the Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System Regulatory Office, or the MWSSRO. The West Zone Water Concessionaire will implement a foreign currency differential adjustment of negative 0.55% of its average basic charge of 36.24 pesos per cubic meter. The reduction translates to a refund of 2 centavos, which means that households consuming 20 cubic meter and 30 cubic meter monthly will get 0.69 pesos and 1.40 pesos reduction in their bills, respectively. According to Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System Regulatory Office, Manilad's FCDA request has been deemed greatly beneficial to the public. Meanwhile, East Zone Concessionaire Manila Water Company Incorporated has voluntarily deferred its foreign currency differential adjustment implementation upon recommendation of the MWSSRO, as it will result in an upward tariff adjustment for its customers. The foreign currency differential adjustment is a quarterly reviewed tariff mechanism that allows concessionaires to recover losses or give back gains arising from fluctuations in foreign exchange rates. It is a corrective mechanism formulated by the Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System Regulatory Office to avoid under-recovery or over-recovery caused by forex movements. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
It's time for the world to know. Outstanding Filipinos in America. The 11th Outstanding Filipinos in America Awards 2021. A salute to the heroes of coronavirus. Coming back live in person at the Carnegie Hall in New York City, home of the TOFA Awards since 2011.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
You are still watching Tribune News on Q. Meanwhile, the country's growth story may restart with a decent performance by year's end, the University of Asia and Pacific and the First Metro Investments Corporation said in the latest report. Some recent economic indicators paint an optimistic recovery, showing confidence that it would end the year with a decent growth. Still, the think tank recognized the retained investors' upside sentiment for the Philippines despite the government's lower growth projection for the year. Investors, however, kept a more sanguine outlook as Japan Credit Rating Agency maintained a stable rating for the country's debt, while foreign investors have begun to boost the equities market. Nevertheless, we think tank stressed that economic optimism in the past months have paled a bit amid the unabated rise in COVID-19 cases and the reimposed hard lockdowns in Metro Manila and other key areas in August. While at it, the now lighter restrictions will help drive economic recovery, coupled with the state's faster vaccination drive to finally achieve herd immunity against the virus. The government's top economic managers earlier revised their growth target for the year from 6 to 7% to just 4 to 5%. In our sports news, pitted against a team that took it easy from start to finish, Rebisco got the boot, dropping a lopsided 11-25, 19-25, and 18-25 loss to Nakhon Ratchasima Qmin VC of Thailand in the quarterfinals of the 2021 Asian Women's Club Championship Monday at the Terminal 21 Hall in Nakhon Ratchasima, Thailand. Chatsuda Nilapa was given a lot of minutes while Katika Kapin and Chachuan Moksri.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage. Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Apologies for the technical difficulty. Going back to our sports news, pitted against a team that took it easy from start to finish, Rebisco got the boot, dropping a lopsided 11-25, 19-25, and 18-25 loss to Nakhon Ratchasima Qmin VC of Thailand in the quarterfinals of the 2021 Asian Women's Club Championship Monday at the Terminal 21 Hall in Nakhon Ratchasima, Thailand. Chatsuda Nilapa was given a lot of minutes while Katika Kapin and Chachuan Moksri were in their usual deadly selves for the Thais, who dubbed the Filipinas the heartbreaking loss in just 82 minutes of action. It was Rebisco's fourth straight loss in this prestigious inter-club tourney that stakes a ticket to the FIVB Women's Club World Championship in Ankara, Turkey in December. Worst, all of their losses came via straight set except against Saipa Tehran of Iran last Sunday, in which they eked out of a 25-21 win in the second set before surrendering a 4-set defeat. The loss relegated Rebisco to the battle for 5th to 7th places against Chocomucho, which suffered a 13-25, 22-25, and 21-25 loss to Supreme Chonburi in the other quarterfinal battle later in the day. Baron, who was assigned as team captain after veteran Abby Maranyo missed their opening match after failing to secure clearance from Thai health authorities, rode the bench all game long, while other veterans, Kiana D. and Rhea de Maculangan, saw very limited action. Brazilian coach Jorge Souza de Brito's decision to bench Baron was considered odd since she started in their last 3 matches and her length Skills, athleticism, and international experience could have made an impact for Rubisco. That wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, Department of Tourism, Aranda Center, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista, and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning!